Hi, welcome to the third part of the of our lecture on the tendency of falling profit rates to fall. Well, last time we have seen in the first case when we have all of these four actions done by one company. Basically, we had V plus S as 40 and C as 0. In that case, the potential profit rate will be 40 divided by 0, which will be infinite. Of course, actual rate will be determined by how we divide V and S, which will give us S over V. And in this case, the S over V or the exploitation rate will be equal to the profit rate. But in this case, however, 40 divided by 20 is the potential profit rate. So if all value created is given to the capitalist, then the profit rate will be 200%, and that's the highest possible profit rate. What will happen when we have the third case, when we have four companies, and each of these companies basically have, let's say, each of these companies basically sell each other what they have produced. So now all of these four, let's say, actions are done by a different company, and the first company buys cut wood from the first company, which has exchange value of 10 labor hours. The third company buys the output from the second company, which is worth 20 labor hours, and the third company will buy inputs from the third company, which is equal to 30 labor hours again. So basically, for the second company, well, this is C. For the second company, V plus S will be again, well, for all companies basically V plus S is 10, but for the second company, C is also 10. For the third company, V plus S is 10, C is equal to 20. For the fourth company, V plus S is again 10, C is equal to 30. So in this third case, V plus S is again 40, because that's the total value created, but C has risen all the way up to 60. So now potential profit rate has fallen to 67%. So this is a way, to show that actually the product produced is the same, but it's just produced now by different companies. But when different companies produce those products and they start to sell what they produce from each other, in that case, the C in the economic system starts to rise. This doesn't change the production level in the economic system by itself. It might be changing it by increasing productivity, but it increases C. It increases this additional cost, which stands outside of GDP, basically. Well, let me show you it another way. Let's say we have metal sector and wood sector, and let's say both of them are independent from each other. They don't use what each other produce, and let's say each produce products that are worth 1 million labor hours. So this will be their V plus S again, which they will share. And C is 0 if they don't use any output that are produced by themselves, each other. But if now they sell what they have produced to each other. Well, for the whole economy, by the way, let's calculate also that. The total V plus S is 2 million, and C is again 0. But if they sell half of what they produce to each other, so that wood is used in production of metal and metal is used in production of wood, in that case, well, 500,000 will be C for each sector, because now they are buying from the other sector an output which is equal to 500,000 labor hours, basically. So now, in the whole economy, the C has risen from 0 to 1 million, basically, and potential profit rate again has fallen from infinite to 200. So what does this show? This shows that as economy gets more intermingled or intertwined, as companies begin to buy from each other more, as you have more specialized companies that are selling their products to the companies which were produced by the companies initially. As companies get less independent from each other, C starts to rise. That start in the rise of C might increase productivity and increase amount of products that are available in the economic system, which is good for the which might be good for the economic system, especially if those products are necessities for people's survival. However, it also creates this additional cost which companies bear, and this additional cost continuously rise as companies become more and more and more and more dependent to each other, as the workforce increasingly separated by different companies, and the companies increasingly starts to use each other's inputs instead of produce more things or more inputs by themselves, basically. Well, and we should not, even though the fact that the companies are more productive is good for the economic system, it's not necessarily something beneficial for the profit rate, at least in the long run. In the long run, this additional cost might create a weight which might harm the profit rate, at least potentially harm the profit rate, which at least is decreasing the potential profit rate, if it's not decreasing the actual, even if it is not increasing the actual profit rate. And when you are thinking about GDP, you might also think about the intermediate, because, for example, here, if we had instead of labor hours, these tens were basically presenting the prices. Well, each company adds $10 value, we could say, to the product, and the final product is $40 worth. However, the first company buys from the second company buys from the first company its product, which is equal to $10. So the second company buys the product from the third company buys the product of the second company, which is $20, and fourth company buys from the third company the product, which is equal to $30. Which means, in general, for all these companies collectively, we now have an expense which is equal to $60, which would not exist if those companies would all of these four companies were combined and basically operate as a whole. So this is basically what drives increase in C and what drives increase in C over V. Oh, now we can turn to the other point. Is this detrimental? Is this problematic for the economic system? Well, Marx argues, let's talk about this. Profit rate consists of C over V and S over V. increase in C over V certainly decreases the maximum amount of profit rate, the maximum that is attainable. What it does for the actual profit rate depends also on the exploitation rate. If while increasing C over V, technological advancements and accumulation process also increases the while increasing the organic composition, the accumulation process and technological advancement also increases the exploitation rate. In that case, sufficiently, of course. In that case, profit rates might increase, or at least maybe remain stable. But if increase in the organic composition dominates the increase in the exploitation rate, assuming there's an increase in the exploitation rate, in that case, profit rate will fall. And this domination should not necessarily happen immediately. It can also be something that will be distributed over time, and that would be an important argument when we look to some arguments, some views in Marxian economics that are defending the theorem we are talking about. One very important question when we are looking to the possibility that of the possibility of having the C over V, the constant capital, pulling the profit rate down, is the possibility that maybe companies do certain technical advancements that initially increase their profit rate, but when the technological advancement spreads to the whole sector, maybe the profit rate for the whole economy will fall as it spreads to the whole sector. Of course, that's technological advancement can be used by multiple sectors, but a similar type of increase in the technology tends to lower the profit rates for the whole economic system, basically. In this case, but initially it increases the profit rate of the inventor company. So inventor does what is best for itself, but basically, in the end, the companies in general are harmed by this process. We discussed whether this is a possibility. Of course, we have not said this is the case. Well, is this possible? The answer is no, and this no is proven by a Marxian economist, not a different economist. Marxian economist called Okishio, a Japanese economist, by the way, and he says this. Well, there are two different conditions, the important conditions. As long as companies are able to sell everything they produce, so they should not have anything left. As long as buying power of wage doesn't change, so the wage should be able to buy exactly the same amount of consumer products. Well, the answer is a definite no. Well, note that the fact that buying power of wage doesn't change, but the productivity has increased, and now more is produced, means basically the exploitation rate has risen in Marxian sense. So exploitation rate rise sufficiently actually to its maximum extent without decreasing the living standards of the workers in this case. But at least this case, when you don't increase the buying power of the wage, plus when companies are able to sell what they produce, then any technological advancement that increases profit rate of an innovator company will also increase profit rate of the whole industry. Next time we will see the logic of this proof, not the total proof, but logic of this proof. See you then.